In Disney's 2025 live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch, few moments carry as much emotional impact as when Stitch declares, "This is my family. I found it all on my own. It's little and broken, but still great." This pivotal scene represents the culmination of Stitch's character development, the film's thematic exploration of family and belonging, and the emotional heart of the story. Understanding the full significance of this moment requires examining it in context of Stitch's journey, the film's portrayal of non-traditional families, and its cultural setting. The scene occurs during the climactic confrontation between all the key players: Lilo and Stitch, Nanny and David, Dr. Jumba, and Agent Pleakley, Cobra Bubbles, and the newly arrived Grand Councilwoman. After Stitch has rescued Lilo from danger, demonstrating his transformation from destroyer to protector, the Grand Councilwoman arrives to take him into custody as originally sentenced. It's at this crucial moment, when his fate hangs in the balance, that Stitch makes his declaration. The power of this scene begins with its visual composition. Stitch, small in stature, stands protectively near Lilo while gesturing toward the assembled humans who have become his chosen family. The contrast between his diminutive size and the grandeur of the Grand Councilwoman emphasizes the courage it takes for him to assert his newfound identity and claim his place in this family. The lighting and framing of this moment highlight his vulnerability while also showcasing his determination. The dialogue itself is deceptively simple but carries enormous emotional weight. The phrase, "This is my family," represents a complete transformation from Stitch's earlier identity as Experiment 626, a creation designed for destruction with no concept of family or connection. His claim of having found it all on my own emphasizes his agency in this transformation. He wasn't assigned to this family, but actively chose it, reinforcing the film's theme that family can be created through choice rather than just biological connection. Perhaps the most powerful part of his declaration is the acknowledgement that this family is little and broken, but still great. This phrase recognizes the imperfections of the Pelekai family unit: orphan sisters struggling with grief and separation threats, an alien experiment, and eventually the reformed scientist who created him and his reluctant partner. By embracing these imperfections rather than seeing them as disqualifying, Stitch articulates one of the film's most profound messages: that families don't need to be perfect or conventional to be valuable and worthy of preservation. The emotional impact of this scene is heightened by coming after Stitch has demonstrated his transformation through actions, not just words. His rescue of Lilo at great personal risk proves that his declaration isn't empty sentiment, but reflects a genuine change in his character and priorities. This sequence of action, followed by declaration, gives the moment authenticity that resonates deeply with viewers. The scene also gains power through contrast with earlier moments in the film. When Lilo first asks Stitch if he had a family, he responds simply, "No family," revealing his isolation and lack of connection. Later, when Dr. Jumba tries to convince Stitch that his attachment to Lilo is merely a survival strategy, we see Stitch questioning his own capacity for genuine connection. The declaration scene resolves this doubt definitively. Stitch not only has found a family, but has developed the emotional intelligence to articulate what that connection means to him. The cultural context of the film enriches this moment further. Set in Hawaii, the film centers around the concept of ohana, which means family in Hawaiian culture, but encompasses a broader understanding of family that extends beyond biological relationships to include chosen connections and community bonds. Stitch's declaration perfectly embodies this cultural concept, as he claims a place in a family created through choice, commitment, and mutual support rather than biological ties. From a narrative perspective, this scene serves multiple functions. It provides emotional resolution to Stitch's character arc, moving him from isolated monster to beloved family member. It articulates the film's central theme about the value of non-traditional families, and it creates a turning point that influences the Grand Councilwoman's decision to allow Stitch to remain on Earth, affecting the plot resolution for all characters. The 2025 remake enhances this moment through several elements. The visual effects that bring Stitch to life allow for subtle facial expressions that convey his emotional state during this declaration. The performance captures both vulnerability and determination as he makes his stand. And the reaction shots of other characters, particularly Lilo's pride, Nanny's surprise, and the Grand Councilwoman's reconsideration, amplify the emotional impact of the moment. This scene also resonates because it speaks to universal human experiences of belonging and acceptance. Many viewers relate to the feeling of being little and broken in some way, dealing with loss, feeling different, or struggling to find their place. Stitch's declaration offers reassurance that these imperfections don't disqualify anyone from family connection and that there's a place for everyone, no matter how unusual or troubled their beginnings. The power of this scene is further enhanced by its positioning at the climax of the film, when multiple storylines converge. The thread of separation hangs over both the Lilo-Nanny relationship and the Lilo-Stitch bond. The alien pursuers have caught up with Stitch, and social services concerns about Lilo's welfare remain unresolved. This convergence of tensions makes Stitch's declaration not just emotionally significant, but dramatically crucial to resolving these intersecting conflicts. For many viewers, this scene represents the emotional payoff of Stitch's entire character journey. From his first appearance as a snarling experiment who responds to questions about having goodness inside him with fart, to this eloquent declaration of family loyalty, Stitch's evolution represents one of animation's most compelling character arcs. The simplicity of his words belies the complexity of the transformation they represent. The scene also gains significance through its influence on other characters. The Grand Councilwoman, previously determined to take Stitch into custody, is moved to reconsider her position after witnessing this declaration and the genuine bonds it represents. Even Dr. Jumba, who created Stitch for destruction, begins to recognize the value of the connections his creation has formed. These reactions reinforce the power of Stitch's transformation to affect those around him. In the larger context of Disney storytelling, this scene represents a particularly mature and nuanced approach to family narratives. Rather than presenting an idealized family or a simplistic happily ever after, the acknowledgement that family can be broken but still great offers a more realistic and ultimately more hopeful message about human connections. It suggests that perfection isn't required for love and belonging, just commitment to supporting one another through difficulties. This moment also connects to broader societal conversations about what constitutes family. At a time when many children are being raised in non-traditional family structures by single parents, grandparents, foster parents, or adoptive parents, Stitch's declaration affirms the validity and value of families created through choice and commitment rather than just biological connection. This makes the scene not just emotionally powerful, but culturally relevant. From a filmmaking perspective, the scene demonstrates the power of simplicity in creating emotional impact. Despite the fantastic elements of the story, aliens, spaceships, and genetic experiments, the most powerful moment comes through a simple declaration of belonging. This balance of spectacular elements with emotional intimacy characterizes the film's approach throughout and reaches its zenith in this scene. In summary, the scene where Stitch declares "This is my family" represents the emotional heart of Lilo and Stitch, bringing together the film's central themes about chosen family, acceptance of imperfection, and the transformative power of connection. Through its positioning at a crucial narrative moment, its contrast with earlier scenes, its cultural context, and the universal experiences it evokes, this declaration has become one of Disney's most memorable and meaningful moments, resonating deeply with audiences of all ages and backgrounds.